I'll give you a very good example. Okay? Marriage is a thing created by God and is defined as a union between one man and one woman. That is what marriage is. You don't need a statute or an amendment or a constitution to tell you that.
Or permission.
Or permission or anything. This is why so much of what the founders believed about law wasn't expressly written down, because they understood that it was natural. Okay? Now, by the way, this I don't want to get, some of you guys are nerding out and I love it actually, but this was also a debate between the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists at the time of the founding. The Federalists believed that there exists a whole body of unspoken laws that if you were an American, you understood what they were. The Anti-Federalists were skeptical about that and said, nah, write them down anyway. Right? And so that's why they brokered an agreement on the Bill of Rights. The Federalists said, we don't need this stuff written down. Of course you can use whatever means are necessary to protect yourselves and your family and your property. And the Federal and the Anti-Federalists, so it was like, why would we need a law to articulate that? But then the Anti-Federalists had the questions, and look, there's honest academic debates here, right? But the Federalists were like, at some point somebody's going to try to take away the means of our defending ourselves. Let's go ahead and write it down. And they got that one right. So, anyway, my point is what Bob is articulating is this idea that there is nothing, if you pass a man-made statute that violates the precepts and ordinances of the Creator, they are on their face null. Worthless. So you can have a Supreme Court in the 2015 decision of Obergefell say marriage can be between two men and two women. Guess what marriage isn't? Those things. Like, I don't care what the government says about it, right? I don't care if the government labels or allows you to change your birth certificate sex assigned at birth, right? It's nonsense. You're born male or female. It doesn't matter what the government allows you to permit it. So this is kind of getting to it. My point is that you can't promulgate or enforce laws that violate the precepts and ordinances of God Almighty. Our founders understood this. This is a major part of Western thinking. Western civilization is based upon this belief. And it's why it's so important to always acknowledge that we live in a Christian civilization. That's a fact. Not a Muslim civilization. Certainly not. Western civilization and Islam are incompatible with each other. This is a Christian nation. And we understand that. Now, we as Christians now have to stand up and say that louder and louder and louder. You used to didn't have to say that. It was just assumed. It was in the air that we breathed, right? Now the world that we live in is sadly much different. Okay. Hold on.
Now that I got you on the podium, what about Article 4, Section 4 for Muslim?
Okay, I'll have that conversation.
Yeah,
Let's get
we already agree we're going to get a room after this, and so we're going to talk about it. Just kidding. You want to talk about natural law? I'm not supportive of that, by the way. All right, we're getting inappropriate here. There's too much sugar in the sweet tea, guys. I don't know what's happening. Yes.
All right.
One is on your platform, you're going to stop Sharia law. The question is, how do you intend to do that when we have freedom of religion? How are you going to address that? Yeah. And then my second question is, what will you do about the fraud that you're state?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the question is, what are you going to do about Sharia law, and what are you going to do about fraud? So two small issues that I'll answer very quickly. Yeah. So first, let's talk about Sharia. I sort of hinted at this a moment ago, but I'm going to say it again. Islam is incompatible with Western civilization. Just a fact. Okay? Our founders are spinning over in their graves right now at the millions and millions and billions of unassimilated Muslims that are living here in this state. They don't integrate. They find their own unincorporated land. They buy it. They live with each other. They take over your public school classrooms. And then before you know it, you're hearing calls for prayer 5 times a day. Okay? Now, what's critical about this question is that the immigration patterns from Muslim-majority countries over the past 30 years, of the millions that have come here, they are overwhelmingly going to certain deep blue Democrat districts like in Paterson, New Jersey, or Minneapolis, Minnesota, but they are also coming in huge waves to Texas. And what they are doing is establishing a foothold in the state of Texas. Why are they targeting Texas? Sever, right. Because